All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Brogan. Today, we are here for another Simple Signals stream, and today is going to be a huge one, okay? I know I say that every single intro I do on these streams. I always say, oh, it's going to be a big one. Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one today. Trust me, when I say this in this intro, today is going to be a big one. Today, we are doing some very, very interesting Bitcoin TA, okay? Today's main, as per pretty much most of my streams lately, mainly focusing on Bitcoin. We have a lot to cover on Bitcoin. We have a lot of interesting stuff. Some mainly it backs up. It backs up stuff we've already been saying, but in a very interesting way, and interestingly as well, which is obviously nice to see. All the TA I do today kind of backs up the exact same price, so it's not like I have conflicting ideas about Bitcoin right now. I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty excited to go over it. I'm gonna spend a ton of time. It might be like 20 minutes on Bitcoin even. I know I normally spend 30 minutes on Bitcoin, and I kind of go a bit over. But I think I'm going to whiz through Solana and Ethereum. It's going to be mainly Bitcoin. Obviously, as per usual, 30 minutes, could be 40 minutes into the stream. So 20 minutes left at the end of the stream. So I might spend a bit more time on Bitcoin because I've got a lot to cover. Put coins in the chat. After I do the main coins, I will look at other coins if they're obviously in the chat. If not, I'll just look at random things or just go back to Bitcoin or whatever. But if you do have any coins you want me to cover, put them in the chat. Obviously, if you're on Binance where the chat moves a bit faster and I don't look at it as often, then do put it a couple times. I will read it out when I do see it, and I'll put it in my list. And obviously, if you want an easy line of communication with me, go to Google, Crypto Warehouse, YouTube, go to the live. That is where I'm constantly. I always have the live chat open over here on my other screen. Obviously, Binance I alt tab to occasionally, but the YouTube chat is where it is. Okay, if you want to come talk to me, so come over there. And while you're here, obviously like and follow, subscribe as well. It would really dearly help the channel. Obviously, take your judgment of subscribing after. If it's your first ever stream, welcome, by the way. Do make sure you subscribe, obviously, if you enjoy the content. And, if you think these guys are really great, I love them so much. This is amazing content. Consider donating, obviously, no pressure on that. But if you do have the capabilities, the capacity to do it, and you do feel so inclined, it would be greatly appreciated as well. So, without further ado, I think I'm going to go over the percentages and some prices of Bitcoin off the Ethereum, see what's going on in the market just based on market cap, see what prices we're at, and then we can go over the Bitcoin chart and obviously everything else. Obviously, the latest streams we've been doing this main the range based analysis. It's been going really well. We've been following the lines pretty accurately. We've been following what I've been talking about pretty accurately. I slammed my desk. I don't know if that picks up on the mic. We've been following it really well, and what we're doing right now in Bitcoin is following pretty much exactly what I talked about last stream. I think I talked about it on last stream. I must have, because that's what I drew last stream. So we've been following it pretty perfectly, completely accurately. Obviously, I think we're trying to break above the order block right now, but a lot of the TM we've been doing today, as I've alluded to, and I have sent in the Telegram. If you're not there, obviously, you would have seen what I'm going to be talking about, obviously, in the chart pattern area. If you've not checked that out, obviously, on Telegram. We will go over it in the stream, don't worry. But if you're not there and you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the description where you're watching right now. Check out the links down there. They're all there for a reason. They're all very useful. So, as you feel like, let's say you're getting really bored of Bitcoin TA and you're like, I want to keep this on for the later, but I want to go do something while I'm waiting. What can I do? You can go to the description, check the links out, especially the Telegram. That's the most important one. I always emphasize that. I've just made a fighting noise with my hand. Sorry if that picks up. I always try and preface that the most, or emphasize that the most even. That the Telegram is probably the most important link down there. Personally, obviously, Mike, can give a different opinion, but I think Telegram is probably the most important. So do go check that out. Do go join if you haven't joined that already. Tons of content, tons of stuff. Talk to us. Need to say more. Anyway, let's get into prices. Let's get into percentages, and then we can go on to the chart, which we're all here for. We're not here for this. We're here for the charts. So 58. Let me refresh the page. I don't want to get anything wrong. Okay, I never do. 58,225 right now for Bitcoin. 1.5% up in the 24-hour and 3% up in 7-day. Pretty nice, pretty good. Slowing a bit, obviously not too slow. Again, 24-hour and 7-day. The difference between them isn't too large. You can see on the right hand side, my head's not covering it. We're still doing our thing. We're kind of hovering a bit more. It's not as steep as previous movements, but we are still going strong for Bitcoin. So I'm not worried at all. Ethereum. Only about pretty much an exact half movement. Maybe not so much on the 7-day, but pretty much exact half movement on the 24-hour and 7-day for Ethereum. That Bitcoin, you can see pretty much exactly half movement on the 24-hour, pretty much a half movement on the 7-day. So But I've just pressed back. Oops. But unfortunately, that's a downwards movement, then an upwards movement. But again, Ethereum's in a different situation. We talked about it last stream. With Ethereum, it's in a bit of a different situation than Bitcoin. We do have different values and different areas of interest for Ethereum, which we are currently at right now. So it makes sense with a bit of divergence in price action, and obviously if we're going positive and negative for Ethereum. Again, as I've already gone over, we will go over it eventually in the stream, but there's a bit of obviously disparity in price action. You can see Solana is also up strong, very, a lot closer in similarity to Bitcoin. Hit the mic, sorry. I just keep on making noises. I don't intend to. I don't know if that blew the mic up. $135 right now for Solana. Again, the 1 hour's like gone 6 minutes ago, so I'm not expecting anything crazy, but 2.5% up in the 24-hour and a 3.64 in the 7 days. You can see it's probably a bit steeper than previous price action in Bitcoin, for example, but we are still heading strong in terms of you can see they're very, very similar. Right there, that Solana's movement. Again, it's tiny. I'm going to go over the charts in a minute, but just seeing the general movement, they are very, very similar. Obviously, a lot more similar than Ethereum. You can see with Ethereum, you can tell that there's something going on. You can see Bitcoin's going upwards. Solana is also going upwards. Obviously, BNB and all these other coins. But you can see with Ethereum, we're starting to go down in this second arc upwards. So there's clearly a price rat, which again, there is definitely due reason for this movement, which we will go over in a minute. I've yapped. Let's go on to the chart. So this is the normal chart. Okay, this is what we have up already. This is the 1 hour. This is the main chart I looked at already last stream. So if you were here last stream, you will hopefully slightly recognize this chart, similar to what I've already talked about. So what did we have? We had fair value gap, but more importantly, this area, this was order block. You can see in these ranges, it doesn't matter if you know how it works or not. It's always yellow. He always picks yellow instead of anything else, basically. I think yellow is probably the worst color, but obviously that's my opinion. You can see, so basically, don't even know what it exactly 100% means, but it's rejection block and then order block. So things within this area is going to be order blocks. You can see this area right here, this moving upwards and then moving downwards again, is within order block area. So if we shimmy across, you can see a direct hit off it right there. You can see pretty accurately. Hopefully that it's not too thin on the stream. You can see it. Pretty much a direct hit on this order block here. You can see this. Obviously, this is a quick wick, so it was kind of a breakout of this fair value gap. But this obviously then eventually got filled, and then obviously we came down again. Pretty strong response as well, by the way. But again, we are also above. Bearing in mind, we are above equilibrium, which, to mention, we shimmy down, had a nice wick to the bottom of it, really nice bounce off it. Just to point that out. If we go back up though, formed an order block within old fair value gap area. So this obviously just helps to have a bit more resistance. Here you can see obviously good bounce coming back down again. But obviously we eventually flipped it. You can see we use it support, tried to break below it, roughly got towards the bottom area of it, and then obviously we've come back up again to test it as support. So this is a good support area at this gap. So we could probably, what we could probably do is delete this, well, not delete it, but remove the fair value gap from our minds and change this to green, and then have this order block. So you can see, like, if we shimmy it, you can see bounce, good response, obviously shimmying in these two order blocks, obviously shimmy down to test at the bottom area, and then come back up again. So you can see we've tested the rough bottom area of this order block, and we know it's holding strong. So now we know we can actually come back upwards. But we're starting to actually have some prints above the dashed line of this order block back here, which is good. This is a good sign to hopefully flip it and obviously come upwards instead. You can see we had this really big rejection block, but again, we're not in anywhere considerable. We're still kind of hovering. Rejection block came up again, so this is really nothing of importance, unless again we do something where we come to the top of rejection block here. Also bearing in mind, we do have I think we have some equal highs somewhere. I think it was here actually. I think I talked about that actually, or I don't know if it was a different coin, where we had relatively equal highs, and then we came up to fill these or surge above these highs. You can see here, and obviously really big response downwards. So that's probably more of the leaning towards why we actually had that big old wick there. But again, regardless, it doesn't really matter. We're not in a considerable area for rejection blocks. Specifically, though, we didn't come up to here. Obviously, if we had a big wick all the way up to, 59 area, then I would consider, waiting to see if we came to either the midpoint, if we came towards 59, let's say, I'd consider either coming back to this purple line at, 58.32, or coming towards 59 as resistance. And again, going between 58 and 59 is going to be resistance anyway, or there's going to be difficulty there anyway to try and get back above. But importantly, though, on the 1 hour, you can see we are currently trying and, you know, slightly succeeding in trying to, you know, continue on above this order block. So you can see, like, you know, we had our movement upwards, we printed above it, we you know, came down, obviously went to the previous order block, but, you know, it was mainly our prints. But interestingly, obviously we printed above this line, but it's more so the middle line which matters. So you can see, you know, printed above, tested this, obviously came back to hit a print, so that's not a very good sign in terms of trying to get above this order block. But regardless, we are coming up right now, so we still have strength upwards for Bitcoin. If we could have, you know, print basically in the next, obviously just 18 minutes, so maybe on the lower time frames is a bit better, but you can see we're trying our hardest to try and stay above this. Really nice prints in the 15-minute, by the way, with these purple lines, or this purple line. See, really accurate here as well on these ranges. These purple lines, absolutely perfect in terms of our response. But regardless, I think on the higher time frames, I need that print personally. Mainly also on the 4 hour, which again, you know, bearing in mind the 4 hour also prints in the next 48 minutes. So I'm leaning more towards the fact that we have a 4 hour print as well. So I'm thinking, obviously, next 47 minutes, if we can print above this 58.261, you know, coming towards, you know, basically where we are right now, or 58.4, then I'm going to be really, really happy to see that we're going to be, you know, coming upwards. You know, obviously forming order block, difficulty, surge, difficulty again, surge. Really, really good. Hopefully then coming towards 59k. So I don't think there's much difficulty or much in the way of difficulty for Bitcoin unless you have this expanding triangle which brings us down. There's potential for that, obviously bearing that in mind. But again, we also have this rejection block on the higher time frame coming from equilibrium. And again, this is going to be big because obviously we have this big area. I don't know if there's an order block. I can't remember. Yeah, we have a big order block here anyway. Or no. Again, I talked about this last stream. Really, really perfect this is. This is breaker block area. So what is a breaker block if you don't know what that is or you need a refresh? Basically, it's a failed order block and it basically switches its sentiment. So basically, it's you can form a negative order block, which is a positive candle, then a negative candle, or is a significant candle of, you know, a singular candle where it's the highest in the entirety, where it doesn't get filled by anything else. I'm really horrible explanation, but this is the engulfing one, so it doesn't really matter. This is the one I'm using anyway, so yeah. If we come over, shimmy across, there we go. So you can see this is a negative one, so in theory, you know, if we didn't have these ranges, we're like, okay, we have a really, really good negative order block here. You know, we're going to come down to here, we're going to eventually come up, we're going to come to this order block, we're going to come down, it's going to be horrible. But since we have these handy-dandy, magical, super awesome dealing ranges, which I've drawn, we know that this is in the estimated area where we should see a breaker block form. And lo and behold, what happened? We formed a breaker block. We completely ignored it as anything considerable of resistance. You know, we didn't even try use it as resistance. We just came up above it, and then support again, and then support again, and then support again. Obviously, we dipped below. This was a test of equilibrium. Came right back up, and then this is going to be support again. So this is going to be a great support area. So I'm not too worried. Even if we fall below here, if we have a wick or whatever, I think 56.8, 56.5 is going to be perfect area. So I don't think we necessarily come to equilibrium, and that is very, very important because in our normal trend, you can see we have this kind of movement. Consider these the lows, but you know, if you do a general like movement, you can see like we've already surpassed this high. Good. And as long as we don't go below this low, we're still not going to be in a downtrend. We're not going to change our sentiment. You know, we're not going to do a lower low and then, you know, we're hovering a bit and then we're coming down. So on the higher grand scheme of things, you can see, especially on here, you know, this kind of movement, we've done a higher high. So our low can go as low as 55 or 56. It doesn't, oh no, not 55, but 55.9, I meant 56. So we can go up to 56 or 56.5. It doesn't matter. As long as we don't have that low here at 55.58 at equilibrium, then I'm not worried in the slightest for Bitcoin. I think we could continue upwards to 59. I think it's a bit broad, a bit extreme and broad if we do come to 56. I don't think we necessarily do that. I definitely think a good strong low would be 56.87, 56.88. I think that would be a really considerable low. You know, I think that would probably be a bit, not extreme, but I think that would be our lowest personally, in my humble opinion. But again, you know, bearing in mind we have this order block on the 1 hour. This is going to be strong if we flip this. Not saying we can't go below it, but once we flip it, then it's going to be a lot easier to get back above again. So if there's a scenario where we flip it and then come back down again, it's not going to be very hard to come back up again because, you know, it's weakened. It's not like it's already fulfilled basically. It's already fulfilled. So at that point, it could be kind of the thing where we hover a bit and then we come down again. So on the lower time frames, you can see this is technically our mini trend. So if we do a higher, our higher low would be 57.58, which again is the bottomless order block. So anywhere within this order block is a good area to have a low. So even on the 1 hour, on the 30 minute, on the smaller time frames, if we have this small little trend, even a low here is good news. And then I could then expect a higher high coming above, 58.6, 58.5, wherever this high is going to be on the candle prints, and then continue upwards. So I'm not worried, not really too worried for Bitcoin right now. I think Kishan asked if we could have potential for a lower high, which there is technically if you can't, if you look at the wicks. Let me just go less than 1 hour actually. Well, yeah, if you're considering on the wicks, then yeah, sure, you could see this be our high, a really considerable thing doing that. So we would then have to get above 58.650 or whatever this area is here. So that is a true point, but I'm more looking at these candle bodies and more looking at how we've generally printed, not where we came to, because this could be just general volatility. Obviously, this isn't general volatility. This was a sweep from this high back here. But again, this is normal price action. So I'm just considering these like actual prints right now. So if we go based off prints, we've already have a high right now on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, whatever. Then that low on the higher time frame anyway, on the 4 hour, is a minimum of, well, to be fair, obviously, actually, no, to be fair, I'm lying. If I'm going off candle bodies, it is then technically, it should be higher than, 56.69. But again, like I said, we've already got this order block here. We've got our previous lines and our dealing in our range. We've also have the high of the order block at 56.861. So we've got many areas below us where there's potential support. Just trying to reiterate that. So that's kind of what we have right now. Looking at the time, obviously, I do want to move on to some of the exciting things I want to talk about, which is the higher time frame stuff. So I'm going to change my ranges now. I need to find this specific one. Oh yeah, this is not what I want. I forgot to hide that. Yeah. Let me put these. This is the exciting stuff. Okay, that's where we're gonna get to. Alright, let me hide that. There we go. Boom. Oh, there we go. I think it's hidden down. There we go. Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, a little sneak peek there, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's go to 59. So I want to look at some of these just in general, just to see what sort of stuff we've got going on right now. I thought this was important because we have, multiple dealing ranges as we go up. We're on the weekly right now. This is this entire Bitcoin. You know what? Before I move on, I should probably go on to the chat on Binance because I haven't actually looked at that, the entire stream. So we do that. I should also probably look at YouTube because I haven't actually done that yet either. Kind of slacking. Let me scroll up. Love from Bangladesh. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining the stream. Something Danny again. I don't know what that is. Is that in terms of? Unfortunately, I don't have time frames on these chats, so I don't know what that's in reference to. But hopefully, it's not a bad thing. Let me go on to the YouTube chat. What have we got going on? What have we got going on? Good evening. Danny, hi, hello. Glad you could join. Shout out to you. Kishan, always shout out to you. Just take it as an assumption, okay? Just always take it as an assumption. I'm just shouting you out anyway. Even if I don't say it, I'm thinking it, okay? Because every single time you're here, shout out to you. KB, evening to you. Hope you're doing better. 58.4 still holding? Yes. Yeah, holding pretty well. Again, we've got that thing below us. The order block. Actually, I don't know what price it actually came to, but whatever. Actually, where am I? Oh no, I'm on the weekly. I can't see it. Of course, I can't see it. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so this is the weekly. This is a bigger, a whole lot bigger time frame. So these red areas, as I've already talked about, are equilibrium points. So obviously, this is a range. This is a range, and then this is a range. So we've got this range here, and we've got these purple lines at this one. Oh no, this one. It might be. I can't remember. So basically, we've got purple line up here in one of these two. Basically, let's just assume it's the higher one. I can't actually remember which one it is. But this line. There it is. This line is basically these purple lines. So this one minus 6,500 for Bitcoin. Well, obviously we're never going to come there. just an example, these purple lines are basically on an expansion line. So when we reach these lines and surpass it and start to print above these strongly, this is when we're expecting to see an expansion in the price, where we change our range and we see, you know, a whole new kind of sphere of stuff going on. So actually, wait. Oh no, the purple line's here. No, I lied. Okay, purple line's this one. I lied. So if we shimmy across, you can see purple line. Good area come to. Good area come to again. But what did I just say? We need to print above these consistently a couple times, and kind of print above it to kind of show us, okay, we're going to expand now. We're going to be in these ranges where we could, you know, start to see a price, you know, start to try and push ourselves upwards. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we did wick up it, you know, towards basically 69k. No, it's 69k exactly. And look at that wick. If we go to it, you know, really nice wick. You know, off by what? Off by $40. A good line anyway. Good line. So you can see a really good line here. Really good, nice, beautiful, strong wick. But again, we didn't print above it. Now, importantly, this was the turning point. Nice prints above it. Obviously, we then start to come down a bit. You know, after we came down a bit. But again, this is our general action anyway. You know, we've got this movement upwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've got this, you know, coming soon. But obviously, that's not what I'm talking about right now. So if you've been on stream before, and I've mentioned where I think Bitcoin can go to as its highs, you know, in general, wherever it may be, you will know I always say 85k. Now, I've had that price for a very long time, and I have never changed it. Just mainly because I've never really bothered to try and look again at any other things. Just because I've drawn, obviously we had that, we've got this flag going on, you know, this flag, which, you know, comes from about, I think it was here. Obviously, if I shimmy this upwards, it brings us to about, even, actually, to be fair, even better. You know, if I draw from this low, why is it orange? To the high. Let me do black, I don't know why it's orange. Actually, to be fair though, I'm wrong. It is actually more towards 90k actually. But anyway, I've had 85k, 86k, that range. Okay? And that's me drawing it once and then never looking again. Well, to be fair, actually, I think I drew on the candle bodies. I'm trying to figure out the way I drew it. I can't remember. Did I do candle bodies? No, that's too low. It's too low. How did I draw it? I must have drawn it on the daily or something. Okay, whatever. I've had 85k. I can't draw it right now. I can't remember what I did. But to be fair, obviously, if I draw on the weekly from the high to the low, or low to the high, whatever, it does bring us towards 89k, to be fair. But anyway, doesn't matter. 90k, 85k. We have something very interesting. We have equilibrium on this higher range on the weekly. We have 86 to 90k. Now, if this line follows suit, you know, if I you know, shimmy it down. Actually, to be fair though, if I did it on the wicks, I think it'd be 85k. Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. But even still, it's 86k. So 86k. I think that's what I must have done to draw it. I must have done these lows and then shimmied it upwards. There you go. But you can see even doing it from there on the lows, if we zoom in, it is actually pretty perfectly on that equilibrium. But anyway, besides the point, it doesn't matter what exactly number I got. It's 85k, 89k, that range. Okay, we actually have an exact equilibrium in that range. Okay, exact equilibrium. So some people are saying 103k, 100 whatever, this, that, the other. We do have 101k at this 71 line. But importantly, this range is what I'm thinking about. Okay, this range, because we also have. Okay, I've spoiled it. Whoops, my fault. This. On these ranges, the way you draw them doesn't really matter. I'm not going to go into detail. The lines like one upwards of these middle equilibriums on the lower ones are also equilibrium. So if we have both of them at the same time, you can see all this is red. If I highlight it, you can see I can't really point because it clicks off. But you can see all of it's red because it cascades upwards because it's fractal. So this means this entire area is a considerable area of equilibrium. But I'm going to focus on this pinpoint one here. 89k. 89k is basically the middle of this. So 89k is the big price I'm thinking. Obviously, I've said 86, 86, 87, 88. This rough range I've talked about is where I'm expecting Bitcoin. And I've said that multiple times. I've only said that because of the flag we've had. But now I can properly back it up. Obviously, this isn't like, oh yeah, someone's got a crystal ball, they've gone into the future. But this just backs it up even more, these ranges. And these ranges have you know, I've lost the word. They've done me right like 5 streams in a row. These lines have been perfect like 5 streams in a row. These have been perfect lines. I've done my TA pretty much solely based on these lines, and general like all blocks, fair value gaps, rejection blocks, highs and lows, normal market movement, like high, low. That's been my TA and these lines, and these basically this dealing ranges and these arrays. That's been my TA so far for the past like 4 or 5 streams, and it's been treating me really well, and it's been going exact. I thought we'd go to that order block exactly. I don't even have to go here. You can see it. Actually, to be fair, he's even on... Oh, no. That's 49k. But to be fair, very nice there. But anyway, this line, this purple line, you can see how nice it is. This line, then it's this line. It's perfect. But you can see I've already drawn it. I've had this for ages. This purple, this grey box, and this green at the rejection block, and this purple line on this higher time frame. I've had this, okay? And it's been treating me well so nicely. And it was literally... It was pinpoint accurate to like $50. So I trust these. Obviously, this is a personal thing. So, if none of it's financial advice, do your own methods. But this is my thing. So it just backs up even more. That's what I really want to point out on this line. It doesn't really matter how it works. And again, importantly, this orange line at 59.05.049 is the next dealing range. This is the high of this range and is the low of this range coming upwards. So once we've printed, multiple times over this line, we've tested below expansion. This was important. This wick was really important. This was a wick to say we've gone below expansion, but we've come right back up, which means which basically tells us we've come towards the line, which basically, just if anyone's new, and I'll explain it again, the expansion line is 11% above the high, or 11% below the low. So once you surpass that line or print at that line, or once you surpass it and print below it, that's when you start to look at looking to go back into that range per se. So this was a good line to show us. I'm not saying I could have printed, again, I didn't use these lines to predict this because I wasn't using this dealing range back then when that sort of stuff happened. But in hindsight's a beautiful thing. This makes perfect sense that this happened in a theoretical standpoint. It's like, this shows us, okay, we've come below expansion, but we haven't printed on the higher time frame on the weekly, and we've come right back up, which tells us, like I said, we've come below, but we're not going back in this dealing range. And again, even better, wicking exactly to this purple line just shows even more that we're not coming below this line, we're not coming back into this dealing range, we're not coming to 29k, 30k, this, that, the other. We are coming up. This is what it shows us. Okay, I think that's pretty much what I want to talk about here. I just wanted to show this, that I think this is just more backup that we've got going on here. And I just want to point out that I think we're very soon to be going into this new dealing range. Because again, what have I talked about? I've talked about the AMD cycle. I've talked about how we're soon to come into the distribution phase, 21st September, which is really going to pump us. And again, if you go to the weekly, that's not far away. That's like 2 or 3 weeks. Whatever. Actually, that's 3 weeks. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. Okay, well, 2 weeks from this week, again, this is like ending soon. So very, very soon, we are going to be in distribution phase, which is when we either pump or dump. I think it's going to be a pump because I think we're negative in the manipulation phase. So I think it's going to be a pump, which everyone else thinks it is. But, we'll see, I guess. No one knows anything for 100% certain. But this is going to be our pump. So very, very soon, next 2 weeks, is going to be, or 2 or 3 weeks, wherever it is, basically 2 weeks, is going to be when we start to see distribution phase, which in theory should be when we start to see our pump. Which I think is very, very soon and shortly going to be us finally accepting ourselves going up into this dealing range. And again, remember, these areas, what are they? Rejection block, order block, fair value gap, liquidity void. So, if you go to like obviously lower time frames, you can see you could probably start to actually draw some of these fair value gaps and see if they work or not. Obviously we came down, which is an unfortunate thing. But you can see like, okay, order blocks formed in order block area. This is going to be a good order block. Shimmy across, you can see, bang, good response. Obviously, this was a dip below. I think this was this is during April time. I think this was the externality, so that doesn't matter. Came above, support, came above again, came back. Obviously, flipped it, resistance, tries to come above, bang, came down. Support, resistance, flipped it, obviously came down. I've already had this drawn on the other chart anyway, this order block. But again, these ranges just prove to us, or not prove, it's back up to say, in theory, when candles are in this area, or at least half in, or whatever, this, that, the other, print within this range, this is when order blocks should form. So obviously, if you've got an order block within that range, that's when it should be used. So again, this one's no different. Order block, majoritively in order block area. Support, resistance, resistance, support, resistance, support, support, support. So, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, I think we're definitely going to come to this soon when in our pump. Now, last thing I want to cover before we do go on is, okay, this is the kind of exciting one. It's a bit of old news, but it's exciting, okay? 3-month chart, okay? 3-month chart. This is some history in the making type stuff right now. So, okay. Okay, so our entire history of Bitcoin leading up to, obviously, this pump into the next range has been... Did I just move it? Oh, I should probably lock it. Whoops. On. There we go. So this entire range has been our history for Bitcoin as we know it. This entire thing, you can see, like, even if we shimmy down to here, obviously it's going to be drastically different. You can see, you know, 16.5, 59, so $600 off in terms of that low. Coming to here, 58 or 58,458. The high in the candle print was 59.29. So again, a bit of a difference there. Another about $600. So $600 on either side, $600 padding. Our entire range, our entire history for Bitcoin within here. Now, remember, what is the reason for these ranges? Well, these are arrays. These are premium discount arrays at the end of the day, just drawn out in a different method. But these kind of orchestrate to you where things roughly should be printing. And if something prints within that range, it has a higher likelihood chance of being something which is used strongly. So, just going to explain it quickly in these 3 areas. I need more so, actually. So, between this orange one and this blue one, this little small one, is rejection blocks. So when we have a big wick into these areas and then come back upwards, so let's say it was a wick to here, to 5,800. This entire area would be great support. So if we came back towards it and came to touch it, I would then know, okay, we're coming into it. This is a support area. We should look for longs, etc., etc. The next one up is order block. And then the next one up is fair value gap. So candles which are within here, which form fair value gaps, are more likely to happen than not happen. And then order blocks which have candles which are within this area, or at least touching this area, are probably supposed to happen. So what do we have? Order block, negative order block, bang, resistance was at midpoint, came down, support at blue line, came back up, flipped it. So what do we have now in this movement? We've got an inefficiency, we've got a fair value gap. And again, where are these candles coming into? This is fair value gap range. So this is within the fair value gap range, coming back down. This candle is in fair value gap range, and this candle is entirely in fair value gap range. So this whole grey area is a fair value gap. What have we done? We're coming back into it now. Our wick was nearly to the midpoint. Midpoint was 50,000, 50,500. This one's 48.9. So we were, what, like nothing off. We were about $1,500 off. Wait, 49, $4,500 off in terms of the difference here. So we've come back to fill fair value gap. Are we then going to come up? Is this going to be us coming up again? Is what I'm thinking. Again, this is 3 months. This could take a while. You know what I'm saying? So it could be where we wick up and then we come down again. But, you know, if we've already come into it and then we start to come back upwards again. I think 18 days. 21st September. Actually, no. Is it on? I just need to really quickly check. 21st. Okay, good. So 21st September is actually in a week and a bit, week and 2 days, so 9 days actually. So this prints in 18 days. So distribution phase happens, and again, over the course of distribution is when that price action happens. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the immediate open distribution, but in 18 days we print this candle. So what could happen is we've got this fair value gap. In 18 days we've printed this candle where we've waited and we've come back upwards, and now we're going to see our candle print be above this blue line at 58,458. We're going to be printing above this line, which means we have now, you can see, look, it's perfect price action. Resistance, bang, support, coming in. Obviously, there's probably arbitrary support. Again, if we go into lower dealing ranges, there's probably, again, resistance there. You can see right there. I mean, I didn't even have to try. Obviously, these are support there as well. I didn't have to try. Boom, blue lines right there. Obviously, coming up, bang, resistance. Coming down again. This is now testing our candle body print above this line, which then allows us to be in the next range. So now we're basically just slowly moving ourselves upwards. So what's next after we fill this fair value gap, which we're doing now, 18-day in print, and then we start to print upwards, 3, 6, 9, 12, boom, 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 coming into obviously November, and this, that, the other, 90k. But again, I think we're going to wick up to there. I think it's going to be a bit faster. But this still backs up what we've talked about, which is this 90k print, or 90k resistance, boom, coming up. Obviously, if we've got the smaller range, what do we have? 104k. Mike says 104-ish k as well, I think. Obviously, you've got these different areas. So, it's going to be one of those things. I don't know what, just Control-Z. Okay. Hold on. Let me delete that quickly. There we go. So, you know, bang, 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 coming up. Obviously, support at this area, 52, 50, whatever it is. Coming back up again. Maybe equilibrium at 93, 90k, 86. Maybe coming back down to 72, which was previous resistance, by the way. We've already talked about this. Boom, 104k. And again, I think he said November 2025 is when he thinks our high is going to be. That's not that hard. You can see here, like, obviously, this is October. This is obviously November. So in this area is when we should see this price. If this is our high. That's not crazy to say. If we've got normal price action, boom, 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 coming up, or boom, 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 boom. We're starting to get a bit small now. You know, we could definitely come into here by November 2025. So this is just more backup on a really large. This is 3 month. I could probably go to 1 month and it'd be a bit, you know, better to look at. I'm not too sure. It's actually pretty. It's all right. It's not bad. There's actually a double top at this, which is really nice. Boom, double top, bang, come down, support. It looks even better on the 1 month, though, to be fair. Bang, come up, bang. Obviously, resistance on the lower thing. Good range. You can even see here, came into it. Our wicks are now being higher. Boom, that's our low. So now we start to come up again. You can see on the months anyway. So, next stop 90k at least. But we do have that equilibrium. If we go back to this one, 90k. They're identical. 90k blue. Again, what we'll say, price is fractal. So areas can cascade within itself. So you can see this 0.17 value at 9345 just also happens to be the equilibrium at 9345. And you could probably see, you know, what else is there? Okay, 5845, whatever. Well, 59, this area was the golden area, which we also find resistance at. So it all cascades, it all lines up with each other. But again, whatever. I think we should probably move on very soon now to Ethereum and Solana and do some quick TA. But again, this is our structure. We go up, we've hit our high line. We then come down to our low area, and now we're breaking up. So next stop now, we fill this fair value gap. High area, coming down, maybe towards another 60k as our low. Because again, we have a 30% retracement. Mike talks about it. We have another, I think in bull runs, there's another 30% retracement. So in this pump, which isn't going to be the end of the bull run, 85 to 90k, dump back to 30%, which is about 60k. So that backs up what we've talked about. Bang, 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 coming up to this high, retracement, 30%, whatever it is, 60k area, 58.5, and then come up to the next area to break it. Probably find resistance at 100k, 105k, as we've talked about, November 2025. Retracement back to 90k, and then continue onwards, 154k. That's what I'm thinking. This is long period. This is going into like 2027, 2020. This is long Bitcoin. This is how this is going to happen over like lifespans, basically. Like someone's good. I'm not gonna say that on YouTube, actually, I might get banned, but you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna move on now though, because I've spent an extra 10 minutes on Bitcoin. You know what? I'm not even gonna change. I'm just gonna go quickly over Ethereum, like really quick. I don't know if I've got actually good TA on this or not. I really don't. Oh, a nice wick there, I guess. I've already looked at this though. I think we must have had something back here. Maybe good. Look at that. Perfect. A nice thing going on here. I don't have the ranges drawn on Ethereum, unfortunately though. Another order block here. You can see nice wick into order block here. Print at this one. Obviously we're getting stuck below. What are we doing right now? Well, let's go to the 4 hour. Let's have a little look. Oh, let's go daily. Have a little look why. Well, a nice cheeky little order block has been formed here at 22,480. And Again, 2, 4, whatever it was back here was important. I've already talked about this on the other charts. But you can see, obviously, we've got decent difficulty. Obviously, we had this expanding triangle, obviously dip below, formed order block, difficulty down to print into order block, coming back up again, having a bit of a hover, probably coming back up to 2480, which was an important price we've already talked about. Maybe coming down again, having a bit of difficulty. But again, if we had our ranges, this could be breaker block. We then could wick upwards. But this is obviously really good resistance and support. So I could probably expect continuous movement upwards. Again, this is daily though, to be fair. But we're in an uptrend right now. You could probably argue this is rising or rising wedge or whatever. No. I can't remember what it's called. Rising something. Falling wedge. Falling wedge. I can't remember. I've lost it. But regardless, you could maybe argue that, bring us back down for a double bottom. If we continue this movement, and let's say this chart pattern follows through, it could mean we have a little bit of a double bottom case, come back upwards, break above this order block, continue back upwards towards 2,800, which is big difficulty. This is a really, really lovely rejection block right here. So obviously, depending where we are in the premium discount consideration area on the levels, this may or may not be a good, valid rejection block. But if you see on the long term, let's go on daily really quickly. You could argue, I don't know what I just did there, sorry. You could argue, obviously coming from high point, bang, a little bit of a double bottom, coming back up all the way to this area again. This is also a bit of a resistance area. So coming towards 2,800 area could be another goal on the daily. I could expect again. Obviously, considering what's happening in the market in general, 21st September is entry of distribution phase. So I wouldn't mind if we continue back downwards again for Ethereum, because this would allow us to have a continuous negative manipulation phase, which would then allow us to have a positive distribution phase, aka coming into 21st September to November, we should be pumping. Which obviously Ethereum, Bitcoin has its 90k, 85k area. Ethereum has its 4,000 all the way back up here. Continuous back up towards 5k. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have the ranges drawn on Ethereum, so I can't show them. Maybe for next stream I'll draw them, so we can actually see where we should go to next. But unfortunately, like I said, I don't have them drawn, so it kind of means we're having a bit of difficulty trying to do that. But also, we do have a whoops, I didn't not mean to have that. Let's do this like this. We also have a bit of a gap here at 3,000, so maybe coming to there could also be somewhat considerable. Also, you maybe argue you've got relatively equal lows here. This is similar with Bitcoin and Solana, actually, I think. Or Solana in general had a low like this anyway, where it has relatively equal low wicks, which kind of bring us to have this double bottom back up to here. And also, considering if we have this gap, we could have a V pattern, which allows us to kind of come up to this gap, bounce off 2,800, then continue back upwards towards 3,500. So we could have something like that again, where we have double bottom, gap, bang, forming a V back up towards there. That could happen for Ethereum. No doubt about it. Oh, obviously coming into October, November time, this could probably span towards middle of October, end of October area, coming into it. But again, if we're expecting highs by November, if we go off AMD phase, Bitcoin should, in theory, reach there by November. Then I could expect our high for Ethereum, which I think is around $4,000. Not based on the dealing ranges, only based on my personal opinion. So we could see this bump even higher eventually, because this is what, 10th of October. This is a rough guess. In theory, we could then expect a continuous movement back towards maybe obviously there could be some support lines. If we shimmy back here, you could argue there's kind of a range here. Maybe we trace back here. You can see like bit of a bounce in these areas, resistance, support, resistance, maybe support again at 3,200, maybe coming back down to there and then coming back upwards again. So I could expect that for Ethereum, eventually 4,000 by end of October. Again, I'm gonna have to draw the ranges for the next stream to see exactly where that is. So Solana, I should probably go to the other chart, but I really can't be bothered. I'm gonna do it, whatever. I will read the bunch chat while I am waiting though. I also need some water. Okay, there's not really anything too interesting in the chat. There's just quizzes basically on Binance, which is Alright, whatever. Doesn't matter. Nothing on Binance. No surprise there. Let's go on to YouTube. See what's going on. I've kind of neglected the chat. When you get a chance, could you look at Moonwell? It's getting listed in 7 days on Coinvest. Yeah, absolutely. I actually need to do that, so to be fair, because I think is it that I covered? I think I've been asked to cover that anyway. But I need, yeah. If Bitcoin falls, what would be a low position? Good question. I'll go onto it in 2 seconds when I finish Solana. Oh yeah, our LTA. Go like this. Some good areas. Sometimes you need a refresh though on the charts. Good response to that. Look at that. Nice order block there. Anyway, let's go to Solana. I think I'm on this chart. Yeah, here we go. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, perfect. I think we already talked about this though. That I wanted Solana to continue to come down. We're not done that, but we are still, as I've said, we are still stuck below this $136 range. I'm not surprised at this price action. This is normal price action for Solana, as I've expected anyway, or as I expected it should hopefully do for Solana. I did want it to kind of continuously come down a bit more. We did. Okay, my guess was I wanted by 16th September to continue to come down. Unfortunately, I was basically saying I think we come into this area, these lines here, this gap here. I think this is on the daily. I think there's a rejection block or something. I was basically saying I want us to come into here, slowly come down to it by 16th September. Unfortunately, I think it was pretty much like the day after or like 2 days after we pretty much came down to it, which was pretty funny. So unfortunately, you know, it's been and done now. So what makes sense? We had our low, come up now, good rejection block here. So this is gonna be good support. So what could happen again? We could come down into it again. You know, maybe coming towards 125. That would be number one, this rejection block. Number two, this top of this rejection block. So we could have a nice little low rejection block type of thing going on. But again, this is a really strong resistance. So unless something really bigly pumped, which I don't think so far. Again, Bitcoin looking like we could have a bit of a low again. Actually, to be fair, Kishan, I did explain. I think we did have a low. I can go over it again though. I think we're gonna have another low, not a lower low, but another higher low. So I don't think Bitcoin's got a really crazy pump like right now. So I think Solana could still stay in this area, maybe come down again to $126. Maybe not even down there. Maybe it's only to 127. You can see this low, these lows here, this low, nearing this low at this entire area. I think this might have been a really big rejection block on the daily, which it is. So you can see we probably have something like that again. Let me just Control-Z all this crap out of the way. There we go. So we could have that again, maybe another a double low bang like that coming into here. We could also consider it, you know, we could be having this kind of double high or double top, sorry, where this could be neckline, maybe coming below 128. So we could come right back towards this rejection block again for Solana, which I don't think is a bad thing. I really don't think it's a bad thing at all. So I wouldn't worry about it at all. I wouldn't worry about it for Solana because I think in the long run it's going to be a good thing. It's just another opportunity to get into a good low price. Because again, this is, you know, obviously it's not low for Solana. We've seen low back here with 110. We've seen low down here, but considering our lows we've had, this area we're in right now, we could potentially have another visit at 125. So again, another good chance to get in at Solana and whatnot. So, you know, something to bear in mind in general. Yeah, that's pretty much it though. I don't want to have too much of a look. Again, I don't have the ranges. What I need to do though, for next stream, I plan to do it. I'm going to draw the ranges on Solana and Ethereum, similar like I've done with Bitcoin, so that we can really go over, like, not only because again these ranges, the way I use them, I can not only use them on higher time frames, I can use them on lower time frames. You can use it the smallest one. You can use them on the, you know, the hourly, 30-minute, 15-minute. You can use them to scalp. You can use them to do a lot of things. You know, you can use the big range. As we looked at Bitcoin, you can go on the 3-month and look at them. You know, you can go really, really high and really, really low with these ranges. So I do want to draw them. That's my plan. Because once I've drawn them, they're static things. That's the thing with these ranges. It's not based on price action. It's based on static numbers. So I am planning to draw them for next stream for Solana and Ethereum, because I think it's something that you draw once and you keep them. So I do plan to draw them. I think it will definitely help with trying to tell where Solana and Ethereum is going to go. But right now I don't have them drawn. So the best we've got is my previous TA, which is us basically being stuck in this range so far. So I do think we can come down again, similar with Bitcoin and whatnot. But what I'm going to do, we'll move back to Bitcoin, because Kishan did ask if we're having another low, which I'll look at again. I think I had this range open. I think. So let's go on to it. Oh no, it wasn't this range. It was 6561 range. let's draw that. There we go. Perfect. So this is the range we had. So I think what I said was I think we have another low back towards 57 area. Because again, I think looking at the 4 hour, if you solely look at the wicks on the 4 hour, like bang, come up to here, bang, come up to here, bang, this is our high. That technically means now in this kind of, you know, high, 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 low, our low is basically equilibrium, which I don't really think I expect it to come to pretty much at all. So I think, you know, we could come to 56.5, and I wouldn't be worried in the slightest. We could come to, you know, 56.8, could come to 56. I wouldn't be worried in the slightest. You know, 56.35 could be a really good price. I think that could be a good low. But that's going to be like a wick though. You know, like you can see, like if we really zoom out, bang, bang, bang. You know, low at 56.35, bang up towards this, whatever this is, order block at 59.5, coming up into the next dealing range. You know, I'm not worried about that size. I think it's going to take our time. And to be fair, I want us to take our time because I want by the 21st September to have general negativity so that we can pump coming into November or coming into October, by the end of October towards November. I'd need that. So I really am not worried in the slightest. I think we can come down again and retrace for Bitcoin. We are stuck below not only this purple line, but this order block. And again, as I always say, where is this order block? Well, remember, rejection block, order block, fair value gap. So this whole range is where order blocks form. And again, where we have the most difficulty at this order block. So there you go. Those are the ranges. They're just some magical pieces of amazingness. But again, 7 minutes. As I said at the start of the stream, I would like to have a print above this order block. But again, you know, we need a low. You know, if we look at the extremities on the wicks, you can see big movement upwards, bang wick, movement downwards, bang low, moving upwards, bang high. I would like to have a movement lowards. So even if we flip this, I would like to not flip this, basically. I would like to come down and then come up again. Just following this normal structure as we've been having. You know, I wouldn't mind it in the slightest if we just continue to do this. You know, it would be perfect. And also, to be fair, you could argue there's some sort of expanding triangle. You know, you can see bang, 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 coming upwards, coming down again, maybe expanding downwards towards 56.3, as I've already just said. So we could have that going on, you know, expanding triangle to you know, the downside for Bitcoin. So, yeah, I would wait for that. So that's one, Moonwell. I can't remember what the I've heard this, I can't remember what the tick was. Because there's a lot which coincide with each other. Hopefully it's on. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah, it's Moonwell, right? This is because the problem is that there's a coin I'm thinking of. There's a lot of names for the same one. I think I've already drawn this. Oh, let me bring up a different tab. Let me have a little nosy. I think I've already drawn this, so let me check if I have, and I will look at it already. I don't know if I have it on this chart, thing on the Moonwell or in a different one. I really can't remember. So I'm having a lousy now. Basically, okay, perfect. I don't think I've covered it. Right, okay, cool. So let me go on to this is KuCoin, Moonwell. So is this the chart? I haven't covered it on. I thought I covered it on DexScreener, but I don't think I have. Or I think I've covered it. I don't know if it's DexScreener. Don't think I've covered it elsewhere. Is this one? This is the one, right? Because there's like Moonflow, there's Moonwell, there's Moon in general. There's just a Moon. There's like 3 different ones with just Moon. And like Flow and Well, it's like it all kind of merges into one in my brain. I think it's this one. Obviously, you can see top left, we are partnered by Wolfswap. So, you know, gotta know these things. But again, I don't know. I don't want to get this wrong. I think this is Moonwell because again, like I said, Moonwell. There's Moonflow. There's Moon. I think this is the one. I'm hoping it's one. I'm yapping to wait to see if this is the right one. I think actually, okay. What is the logo? Is it that? Is this one? Is that the logo? I don't think it's the logo. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. All right, let's have a little nosy. So, what I'll do, actually, I will look at some of the ranges. You know what? I'll try and draw a range live. Okay. It involves some math. I've got a handy dandy calculator in my hand, which you can't see. There you go, calculator. So I will draw these ranges now to show you how you draw them. Basically, you need to find an appropriate range. So looking at our price, we have 2553. So we could probably do a 6561 range, which will basically mean we can go to. So basically, you draw where you want to bring it to. So let's just say let's just do it over the course of it. Why not? And then basically you go 0, and then we basically do 0, 0. So we do 0. Then yeah, okay, cool. So basically it starts at 6561. Actually, that's not really much math here actually, because I can just duplicate it. But you can even see, like, even before I've even started it, you can see. You know you're on the right track. Equilibrium, bang. Equilibrium, bang. Equilibrium, bang. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so then what you do, it's intervals of specific numbers. So then you go, okay, cool. So then you basically go, I think I did 0.06561. I think I did that, right? So, yeah, okay, and then we do basically the next number up, which is 13122. I must have done a higher one. Actually, what number did I? No, let me have a look. It's locked. Crap. What the hell is this? Oh, I did that way too high. Whoa, okay, that is way too high. Okay. And just copy paste it. I can't remember which. Oh, 0, 0. Pfft, moron. Alright, let me redo it then. Okay. Which means this is 0.013122. There we go. Perfect. Got it there. So then that's the next range. You can even see now there are some respects of even these highs and lows. So let's just duplicate these a couple of times. It takes some time, but obviously once you've got it, like I said, these are fixed things. Sorry, I'm just doing the next number up. These are, fixed ranges. So once you draw them, you have them forever. For the end of time. You just do it one time. It takes a couple of minutes, whatever to do. Obviously, the more you do it, the faster you get. But then it's you do want to draw like different ones. So it's like I should probably copy that number. 9683, and then you add the next interval. So let's just do that. So that's where our price is acting right now. So if we zoom in, you know what? I've probably done these a bit too small actually. I probably should have done the number up. We can even see, have I just shimmied it? Oh, moved it. Oh, God. I've not locked any of these. Jesus Christ. There we go. Let me lock all those. Perfect. Okay, cool. So, and then what I like to do, even though they don't matter because they're fixed things, you kind of have to have a little nosy at how well are we respecting these lines. Well, let's just see an example. Good bounce there, good bounce there. What else? Good bounces off these lines here. Good bounce here. Good bouncing off equilibrium. Bounce of equilibrium, really nice there. Okay, it's time to zoom out a bit far now. But shimmying in now, we're starting to see some close-knit action right now. So if we shimmy over to where we are right now, this is a rejection block. So if you see areas where there's rejection blocks which form in these lines, then you're in the right area. And again, also here, expansion. Remember, going below or above expansion basically means, and printing above there basically means you're in the next dealing range. You can see like these are wicks at expansion. The majority of these wicks are printing or wicking to the expansion line basically. And you can see, we're wicking there, we're wicking below to test, but we're never coming below it properly. But to be fair, these are a bit small. I'm gonna draw these again because they're a bit small for my liking. I want a bit more. So that's a 6561 range. So let me draw the next ranges up because I don't like them. I think they're a bit too small for my liking, and I want to do them a bit bigger. So I'll probably do the number up. So it takes some time, but again, I don't mind. I don't mind going 5 minutes, 10 minutes over. It's not gonna take 10 minutes, but 5 minutes over. So you basically just do 0, and then you get the first number, which obviously is some magical mathematics. Let's do, which one should we do? Let's do. Yeah, let's do this one. So let's try this number. I don't know how big this is gonna look. Oh, perfect. Yeah, let's just do 2 ranges. This is good. So this is good. These are good numbers for higher range. You can see equilibrium there, really nice. Some wicks in equilibrium as well. Wick in that equilibrium, really, really nice stuff right there. So obviously, then you copy it over. Okay, well, I unfortunately didn't have the number copied. And then you go to the next one up. And then you basically add on the next... So it's 39366. 393. Perfect. So now we've got our ranges, or the majority of our ranges now. So now we can see we've got a bit more to look at now, which is good. And how are we doing? Again, nice equilibrium. Nice wicks there. Pretty good. Nice bounces on here. And now we're coming up. Okay, so where are we now? We're now in our next range. You can see had difficulty in this area, pretty much mostly below equilibrium, below expansion line. We've tried, before, tried to, like, if we go back here, we've never actually printed above. And that's the important one, is these purple lines are very important. I do like stress these quite a bit. You can wick all you want above them, but once you print, that's the turning point. No matter, even if you print above it and then come back below, that's when you're trying to look for something which is going to continue in the future. You can see multiple wicks up, wicking at this blue line twice, but again, you never actually came up above it. And then obviously this was a massive print up. Obviously, that's something completely different. But if we come back to where we are now, we can actually look in the future. So equilibrium, mitigation, then breaker. So breaker is basically failed order blocks. And this is within the area. So you can see positive order block. Let me draw this out. There we go. So what's breaker block? To explain again, it is basically an order block which flips, So you can see it goes black and then white, which basically means it's going to go up. As you can see, bang, support, order block, fit below. So, what's it going to be now? So we're coming down, we're doing our thing, whatever. We had our big downwards move in the market, came to equilibrium, and now we're going to come up, and we're being attracted back towards equilibrium to see if we can flip it or not flip it. So now it's going to be, we've got equilibrium, we've also got breaker block keeping us below. You can see support again, flipped it, coming down. We're going to probably use the resistance again, which has number 1, equilibrium, number 2, this, number 3, this blue line. Remember what I said nearing the start of the stream with Bitcoin. The first line outwards of equilibrium is the next number, because again, price is fractal. The next line of blue, below and above the red line, is the higher ranges equilibrium. So this blue line and this blue line are just as important as this. So this entire range is important. So number 1, we've got breaker block in equilibrium. We've got these many equilibrium lines basically at 2893. What else do we have? Mitigation and breaker. I'm trying to see again another breaker block. You can see bang and then upwards again. Support, flip. So you've got these 2 ranges here, and bearing in mind equilibrium. So you can see, like, even when we're above, wick down, fighting equilibrium, fight equilibrium. To be fair, you know what? I should probably draw the one up. To be fair, because it looks a bit better than what we've got right now. So let me draw it really quickly, just before I'll spend an extra 1 or 2 minutes on this. So let me get these going. So it's I can't remember what number. I can't remember what number I use. I can't remember why. I can't remember what number I use, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's just quickly draw the higher one up, which is going to be between 0 and 0.059049, basically. And now we're going to use that. And there you go. Actually, we've got our main areas. And again, what did I say? Now we can unhide and hide as we please. So you can see, if we hide this big range I've just drawn, you can see there's blue line, obviously equilibrium, blue line. And if we show the next range upwards, red line. So they're all, like I said, of importance when it comes to the higher area. So if we hide this range and use this one now instead, we have a lot more of, okay, there's a lot better, you can see. And that's why it's always handy to have previous price actions to kind of help. You can see, come up, equilibrium bounce, came in, bounce, came up, bounce again, came up, bounce again, bounced up, flipped it. Obviously never came back to it because, again, range upwards, equilibrium. But regardless, equilibrium kind of coming up downwards now. It depends on if we print above this on the daily, which it looks like we are probably going to do that. But again, we are still in equilibrium coming towards it. So I reckon we'll come towards equilibrium at about 2782 and then probably have a bounce off it coming back to, you know, maybe about 2417, maybe towards this high and those lows at 2592. So you could probably draw a line across here. So probably at that line I could see support. You can see we're slightly using it as resistance now. So what I could expect is, that's the wrong one, is maybe a movement upwards towards, let's just say, this band of equilibrium. I draw that properly, there we go. And then probably stop loss just at these maybe prints or maybe below the blue line, because again, these are the ranges you want to be using for, you know, 8.48% upwards. And then we probably have, you know, a short from equilibrium area, you know, let's just say conservative down there, in case we don't come up, you know, coming upwards, it'll probably be, you know, above a breaker block, coming down to maybe this blue area. It's maybe not as good as a risk reward. You could probably put it a bit lower at the midpoint if we flip it or not, and then use that to trade it. You know, doing that instead is, you know, definitely viable. So I could definitely see that for Moonwell as we, you know, come upwards. You can see really, really nice. Even on the cascade, you can see bounce, 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 bouncing on these areas here. Bounce off the high here, coming down, bounce equilibrium, come down, bounce here. You can see really, really nice. So what actually could happen, because this is on the weekly, you can see we're coming down, we're doing this. So if we continue this, we basically don't do a higher high than 4-6, whatever, which is going to be a crazy, crazy move of, if we count from where we are right now, we're going to have to move up 81%, which is, again, depending on how good this coin is or not. Again, if it gets listed on Coinbase, that could probably help. But, you know, if you see, like, we've kind of got a bit of a difficult one. You know, it could be the next low back towards the next range, which could be 6-6, whatever. So if you were a gambling man or woman and you thought this was a good trade, just in theory, obviously you'd have to do more. I'd have to do more TA than just this, you know, theoretical. You could probably short it all the way down instead to the next blue line, probably going above equilibrium just in case, which would be a nice 76% profit if it came down again. Obviously that's not financial advice or anything. We can see each low has been nearing the next. Like you can see this low nearing the, you know, this blue line, this low nearing this blue line, this low actually pretty much coming towards this line. So it could be about you know, 8.3, maybe 8.85, 0.00854 for Moonwell instead. So you know what I'm saying, it could come down to there if we do continue this downward trend on the weekly. This is what let's just kind of theorize from the bounce. Let's say it takes this long. It takes, again, 63 days, 64 days. So this will take a long time anyway, if it was to happen. But that's only considering if we follow the downtrend. If it starts to get listed, it starts to get some traction, it could definitely pump, break above equilibrium. And then not only will it, if it breaks above equilibrium, it has a chance to get above this high. But to be fair, you know, if you're looking at candle bodies, you could be a bit more conservative with it. It could be, you know, this high and this high. And then you'd have to get above this, which is 3721, which is a lot easier, to be fair. And this is low, this is low, this is low. The next low would probably be, you know, I reckon about there, or about there, you know, in this area, if it was to happen. But again, if we surge above this equilibrium, yeah, again, with a listing would definitely help. Get above equilibrium, use a support, would flip this into an order block, would then continue upwards, probably doing a higher high, and then, you know, shifting downtrend, lower, you know, higher, lower equilibrium area, maybe towards 2.7 again, and then coming upwards general to do that. But again, you want to be careful of a double top happening. You know, you want to be careful. You want to get above. If you do candle prints at 5.5681, you want to get, you know, get above that basically, so that you don't have a double top and then come all the way back down to you know, 4.33. But again, that's like that'll take ages to happen. I don't even think that would happen. You know, if the project's good enough, it probably won't happen. So going back down, I think we have that sort of trade going on right now. I think we are definitely coming up above, eventually flipping this line here. We are really, really high. So, you know, if you consider it, if we consider the lower ranges, for example, range 2, this is actually really, really good. So you can see, remember what I talked about: rejection block, order block, fair value gap. We have fair value gap there. So within that range, we have a fair value gap being formed. So in theory, within this range, you know, in between 2305 and 2186 probably being 22. Okay, 022 could be a really good price. So that, you know, that is kind of a good cushion for us right now for Moonwell. So, you know, in case we either, let's say we bounce off this resistance, we don't actually get above, we could come down and retrace towards 22 and then come up again. Because, you know, okay, in theory these trades don't happen because we don't get above this line. In theory, it could be a scenario where we've gone straight up, we've bounced definitely a higher low, and then we come up to equilibrium. So that could definitely happen. Something like this, where we have, you know, bang, a small low, bang, small low to equilibrium, bang, small low to, you know, all the blocks back there. So that could definitely happen as well. Yeah, there's that. You know, if you were to take a trade and you're like, okay, it's gone actually horrible wrong, you know, this is terrible, I don't know where we're going to go to, I think 22 is definitely a very good support area, definitely a good demand area, whatever you want to call it. I definitely think we would come there, if anything, to you know, demand area. So, you know, maybe not take a trade just yet because we're kind of in the middle. You know, you can see our prices really came up right now, and we're kind of in the air. So it either surpasses this and uses it as support, or we start to fall because we haven't actually really tested anything as support. So I'll probably wait to see if we retrace. If we start to retrace, maybe get in a trade at 2-2, and then long it up to equilibrium. That's not the. It's not either. Jesus. There we go. You know, ride it up to meet equilibrium or middle of breaker block. Let's say bottom of equilibrium. Maybe stop loss below the low area. You'd have a nice 2.8 versus reward with a 31% move upwards if it does retrace. That is, bearing in mind. So, you know, in the next 4 hours, if we don't print this and we start to come downwards, could expect a 2-2. If not, I would wait for us to come up to here. You know, I wouldn't catch. You could catch it as it's going up, but you know, we've already had this moving upwards. You know, you don't want to get along before it like does something crazy. So, you know, if it continues upwards and we break this black line, I would wait for it to go all the way up to equilibrium or show signs of you know, shifting trend. And you know, if it bounces off black line and it starts to show that we're coming down, I would wait for 0.22 and then long from there for a 30% profit back up towards equilibrium. I think we are definitely riding up towards equilibrium. Yeah, I think it's just take its time. If we go to the really small range though, just see what's going on like the 1 hour. What can we see? A nice equilibrium. You can see really nice equilibrium, basically where that fair value gap is. So again, where is equilibrium on this lower time frame? 2-3. So maybe you could probably get in actually a bit earlier, just in case that the lower, you know, prices fractal, the cascading ranges actually give support rather than the fair value gap. So you could actually maybe do 2-3, probably 2-3 instead. Also bear in mind we do have a tiny little fair value gap in this equilibrium, which also gives 2-3. So maybe 2-3-1, 2-3-2 actually. Maybe I'd probably bump it up from there. So wherever this is, I'll probably bump it up towards 2-3-2, just in case. At the top of this equilibrium here, which only gives then a 25% profit. But then you could probably bump this up towards the bottom of equilibrium, maybe coming towards this range here at this bounce. Not this bounce. Where are we? Let me zoom in a bit. Or maybe that bounce actually, where there seems to be a bit of a resistance. So then you'd actually still have a risk reward of 2.6, which is still good, but then you'd be a bit safer getting in this trade. So you could do that instead, if you weren't, you know, not gambling, but betting on the fact that it does come all the way down to fair value gap. So yeah, because you know, on the higher ranges, we're on the daily, so this is looking at higher time frame ranges. You can see this whole movement. If you go to the weekly, especially, we are below equilibrium. So in normal premium discount, you look for things. If you're in discount, you look for things which are going to bring you upwards. If you're in premium, you look for things which are going to bring you downwards. So in theory, on the higher time frame, and especially this this number at 59054, this range, you can see how well we're respecting everything. Really well respected, really well respected here, and especially up here as well. So do bear that in mind. So anyway, I've yapped 15 minutes over. I do apologise. My sound's turned itself off. That's weird. I'm gonna check the balance chat, see if anyone's said anything before I end the stream. Yeah, good point, Kishan. Join us on Telegram if you're new or anything like that. Then you know, please go to check the Telegram out. Go to the description wherever you are. Check out Telegram. Let me check the chat real quick. It's blown up because they are #1 lending at lending on base and top 5 overall. I'd imagine it just explodes through that box a few days before Coinbase listing. Yeah, absolutely. Like I was saying near the start of the TA, I could definitely believe that news like Coinbase, a Coinbase listing would definitely pump it upwards. So what could probably happen, buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. If people start to see a couple of days before, like you just said, that they're going to get listed on Coinbase, it would then pump above equilibrium. And then when it gets listed, probably dump towards equilibrium, maybe towards 2.8 or 3.1, something in that area, support there, and then continue to ride itself upwards as it gets listed and things get better, continuing upwards towards its highs again. But again, just something, this is on the weekly, this will take a long time. If you do the how long this took, in theory anyway, it took, 140 days to get from top to bottom. So if we go here to here, 140 days. It would take 31st of December. So basically the start of next year. If we see a double top, if we see it reach, like I've already said this though, if we see 55622, whatever it is in this area, and we start to come down considerably, you want to be careful, because it could be a thing where we come right back towards, 984. I don't see that. If, again, like I said, the project's good, from what it sounds like, if the project's good, and it's got a community and it's backed, would break above this. We'd probably come towards 657, print above it, new range, expand, this, that, the other. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. But yeah, thank you for the suggestion. I tried to draw range. What I might do after the stream, I might look at it like on my own and look at the ranges again, because some of the ranges are better than others at higher time frames. But again, you see, this range is good. This is a good range. You can tell by this action, this equilibrium. This is a good range in general. But I might look at different ranges to see if there's any other things I can find out. So if there is, I'll post in Telegram. I don't know if you're already in Telegram or not. If you are, obviously keep it posted or not. If not, check the description out. Telegram's down there. And as per everyone as well, do check the description out. All useful links. They're not there for no reason. Check them out. While you're down there, consider liking the stream. If you did enjoy it, obviously we've gone over a bit this stream. Again, we did have a lot to talk about for Bitcoin. I was like 15 minutes late to go on to Ethereum anyway, so it makes sense. So thank you for listening or watching, to be fair. Actually, obviously, if you're listening, then you probably didn't get as much data as you would. But if you do want any of the charts I did cover today, especially the Bitcoin charts, like if I go to Bitcoin, these are some in-depth charts, especially this monthly one. This is a long-range chart. These are long-range charts. So, again, I'd be careful. What am I saying? I would, keep these in mind as a personal thing. I'll send them out before the stream. The stuff I covered today, this is like Twitter thread worthy. This is like making a Twitter thread and talking about this. This is like how interesting this is. Also important, really, really important. I just saw this. This is a breaker block. Or this is, no, this is an order block, okay? This is really, really important. And again, where are we? Mitigation block, doesn't matter. Breaker block, matters. Form order block, resistance, whatever, go to the maybe weekly. Order block, flipped it, resistance, whatever. We're eventually gonna flip this. This is gonna be great support. This is a monthly order block, which is gonna fit to a breaker block, which is gonna be support. 66k, already talked about it. This will be great, great, great support. Just something to really quickly point out. But anyway, I'm gonna bundle that in with this TA though. There we go. So okay, perfect. Yeah, so I would I would screenshot these. I'll keep these in mind. Obviously that's a personal thing, but I think these are pretty important. I think these are pretty crazy. I think there's some crazy predictions with this. Or no, it's not really a prediction. It's more so it kind of backs up what I've talked about. Obviously, if you're someone who listens to the channel and agrees with my TA, and the past, I would say the past 5 streams I've done have all been correct in what I've said, down to like not the dollar, but down to like the $100 to $150. I've been pretty much accurate every stream. So if you appreciate that as someone who's watching, then I would keep this in mind as a personal thing, because you're thinking, okay, this guy's got it right a couple times. I'm not saying I'm a saint though, but I've been, okay, I'll say it right now. The TA I've been doing it pretty much solely based on, I already said this at the start of the stream, I've been doing it solely based on these ranges and normal price action. So I wouldn't disregard this, because this is just normal stuff for me. I'm using what I already normally use. So if you do want any of these charts, or you do want me to go over anything or post something, if you want a Twitter thread, I can post a Twitter thread and I can send it to you guys. Then come to Telegram, come ask for it. I will send it over into the chart area. I think this is very important. But this is, again, like I said, this is some long stuff. You know, this is like 2027 stuff. So, you know, keep it in mind. I need to end the stream though. 20 minutes over. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to be back though. I'm actually back tomorrow morning because this person right here, the one who only does charts, the chart merchant, the Oracle, I'm actually doing the morning stream tomorrow. I'm doing the morning stream. Yep. So, if you're expecting Mike, you'll be sorely disappointed. Or, you're expecting Mike, but you'd love me to do those morning streams, then you'll be pleasantly surprised because I am going to be doing the morning stream. So, if you are tuning in tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. UTC plus 2, obviously that's 9 a.m. I think it starts at 9 a.m. So 9 a.m. UTC, obviously depending where you are, that's different, whatever. Do join us. It'll be me. It'll be amazing. So, you know, if I'm so good and everyone enjoys it so much, then I might do it more often. But, you know, Mike needs to go somewhere. So I'm covering. He's slacking. As always, he's a slacker. Never does any work. I always do all the work on the channel. So he's slacking as usual, so I'm going to do all the work, and I'm doing the morning stream. So do join me tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow. But in terms of TA streams, I will probably sneak in. You know what I'll do? I'll probably sneak in this Bitcoin chart into the morning stream for the people who missed this stream, because I think this is really, really important. I think it's really important. So I will cover this. You stream charts on X. I think I did for a tiny bit. We did stream on X. I don't know what the viewership's like. You'll get some good views. Okay. I'll keep it in mind. I'll try next time. I appreciate it. I'll ask Mike to see what okay, I think we have streaming on Jib Crypto News, so I'll probably do it there. But yeah, I'll do it on X. Yeah, absolutely. If it gets good views and it gets good engagement, absolutely appreciate it. But yeah, see you in the morning. I'll do like a 5-minute segment on my charts because, you know, I think this is important personally. But yeah, it'll be mostly, you know, articles and yapping and talking. So, you know, if you've been there before, you know what it is. If you've not been there before, come check it out. It's gonna be me again. So, views engagement exploding there. I will absolutely check it out. Yeah, I don't actually think I've ever streamed charts on X, so I definitely will do that. Appreciate it. Yeah, I've kept you guys. I'm sorry. 23 minutes over. Absolutely appalling. Don't worry, I'll make up for it tomorrow. I will be very professional and very, I don't know, serious in my debut morning stream. Because Mike always does morning streams. I sometimes do reviews, but yeah, I'm taking over. So thank you. See you guys tomorrow if you're there. If not, I will see you Monday, 16th. I'll see you Monday. Well, I'll do another TA stream. If not, if you're in a Telegram, ask for charts. I normally post charts if I'm feeling something interesting. If there's something interesting going on or the market exploding, I will post charts. So I might see you in the Telegram if you're there. But if you don't want to, if you hate Telegram, you don't want to ever join it, whatever again, or whatever this or the other, Monday and Friday. I'll be out. Goodbye. See you. Adios.